Welcome back, family, friends, and fans. Let's change Ken into Thor. We're going to start by outlining Ken on the graph paper. That's just going to make it a lot easier for you to get a more accurate design. I also am using stretch fabric, which is going to allow me to be a little more exact with my outline. I also cut off the arms because I am going to do the jumpsuit for him separately from the arms. The arms are going to be a little more intricate. Here's my black stretch fabric, and I'm just going to use my white chalk to outline the pattern that I just created. It's a little close. I should have separated the legs a little bit more, but it came out okay. I'm doing the arms separately because the arms are going to be a little more intricate. After we do our outline, we're also going to add some batting to this pattern. The batting is just going to cause a little quilting, which I want to do on the arms to make the arms look a little more bulky. So I'm kind of trying to outline some of the lines. The lines were not successful in terms of like how they came out, but it was a good idea. I probably should have used my free motion quilting presser foot on the sewing machine, but there it is. You want to leave the armhole and the neck hole open, and that's the parts that you're not going to sew. So you're only going to sew the shoulders and then the rest of the body. So we're just going to sew all around. We left the armholes open and we left the neck open. I did have, when turning this around, I did have a little struggle with, oh, by the way, because the legs were so close, I re-sewed and reinforced the thigh area because I had to cut it open, and it was kind of close. So I flipped this around. I did end up cutting a little bit at the neck to fit it onto him. Everything else came out just fine. And that's why I really do, for a jumpsuit, I like to use stretch fabric because I can play around a little more with it. So now I put another piece of the stretch fabric on top of these quilted arm pieces. I'm cutting off the excess quilting that I don't need. The excess batting that I don't need. And then we're going to join the two. One arm looked a little bigger, so I made it a little smaller. And now this really was difficult to turn because of the batting, but I got it done. You want to use like your paintbrush, the edge of your paintbrush, or chopsticks, and it'll make it a lot easier for you to turn this around. I cut off the ends of the arms, and now I am sewing the sleeves onto the bodysuit. He kind of looks like a thespian, like he's about to do a play or something. I got this red fabric from a reusable supermarket bag. I got some cardboard, some paper, some black paper, and some cork pads that we're going to be using for his vest, for his armor. And this, you just leave one side open, turn it around, and then seal that one side. And I went all around with a top stitch. Okay, so now we're gonna get into the armor. I used cardboard and drew it out, and I'm carving some of it out so that we can have a double layer. I'm gonna use my craft knife to just carve some of this out and then put it on top of another identical piece. And just with a little hot glue, we'll put those together. So I'm trying to redo the Stormbreaker Thor, but his hairstyle is more like the Infinity Wars Thor. And so I'm also not going to do the axe. I'm going to still do the classic hammer, even though I'm doing the Stormbreaker uniform. So that part right there is the collar. I'm also doing the knee pads, and I'm technically not doing official boots. I'm just kind of putting a little armor over his legs, which is why I used a black stretch fabric as my base, so that everything else could just create an illusion. The way that I am putting the pads and the armor and the front of the boots, I'm using the piece strips of the stretch fabric as an elastic to adhere, to just kind of wrap around either his chest or his thighs, his chest or his knees or his shins. His cape, I'm going to attach to the armor all the way at the top. And using these strips of the stretch fabric actually made it very easy to just put everything together. And we're kind of not destroying the jumpsuit underneath. I also cut a little bit of his hair. I put some double-sided tape on his face and attached the hair pieces onto his face to create his the classic Chris Hemsworth midnight whatever you call that, the goatee or whatever. And I also painted his goatee with a little bit of paint. Now we're gonna create his classic hammer, and I really didn't do as many details as I wanted to do, but I'm using some water on air dry clay to kind of smoothen out all the rough edges. I also took my knife and tapped on all the edges to create more of like a similar like that cube effect. I cut some dowels and glued it onto the air dry clay before the clay dries up. And now I'm just going to seal it with a little bit of glue right there. Also, I'm using metallic paint to paint it. I did a little carving on the hammer as well. And I'm also going to use that same paint on his arms to kind of bring out some of the quilting that we did on the sleeves. And we're also going to take a black marker and just outline some of the lines so that it can just pop a little bit more. Now I took some ribbons and kind of tried to unmask the ribbon. So this ribbon, I thought that the wire was going to be silver, but it ended up being bronze when I revealed it. And I wanted silver, so I took out another ribbon and with this ribbon it worked out perfectly. All of these types of ribbons, these thick ribbons that you can mold, they end up having a wire, and you can just reveal it, and there it is. So we're going to use this for Thor's hammer for the handle. Just put a little dot at the base, and we're going to wrap the wire around. Then that last bit, we'll put another little dot of hot glue, and it'll hold it there. I took some cork and painted it the same color as the handle, and that cork is like a leather alternative, so it looks like a leather handle. And we're going to glue it to the end of the hammer. And that is pretty much it, folks. I hope that you enjoyed this transformation. I really did enjoy turning Ken into Thor, and it was a whole lot of fun. I hope that it inspires you. If you guys have any other ideas for transformations, please let me know. Otherwise, don't forget to share this video, comment below, press like, subscribe to the channel, and I will definitely catch you guys on the next one.